Okay. We've got another one!
King in the north.
I keep expecting you to leave me one castle or another for safekeeping, but you drag me along from camp to camp. Have you grown fond of me, Stark? Is that it? I've never seen you the girl.
5 Lannisters dead for every one of ours.
They're dead. Take everything they've got.
We've nowhere to keep all these prisoners. Barely enough food to feed our own.
We're not executing prisoners, Lord Bolton.
Of course, Your Grace. The officers will be useful. Some of them may be privy to Tywin Lannister's plans.
I doubt it.
You wanted to speak to me.
Yes, about Jaime.
What about him?
I wanted to make sure we're doing everything we can to get him back.
In my family, we say a naked man has few secrets. A flayed man, none.
My father outlawed flaying in the north.
We're not in the north.
We're not torturing them.
The high road's very pretty, but you'll have a hard time marching your army down it.
The Lannisters hold prisoners of their own. I won't give them an excuse to abuse my sisters.
No, don't! Please!
The rot set in.
No, don't! No, don't! Please, don't! It'll get better. It doesn't even hurt.
The rot will spread. If we don't take the foot now...
No, you can't! Sir, please. Sir, I can't lose my...
She doesn't.
I don't want to be a cripple, please.
It's in your mouth. Lie down. You don't want to watch.
No! You can't!
Bite on it. It's better than biting your own tongue, believe me. If I left you with one of my bannermen, your father would know within a fortnight. My bannerman would receive a raven with a message. Release my son. You'll be rich beyond your dreams. Refuse, and your house will be destroyed, root and stem.
You don't trust the loyalty of the men following you into battle.
I trust them with my life. Just not with yours.
Smart boy.
We've underestimated the Stark boy for too long. He has a good mind for warfare. His men worship him. As long as he keeps winning battles, they'll keep believing he is king in the north. You've been waiting for him to fail. He is not going to fail. Not without our help.
What's your name?
Talisa.
Your last name?
You want to know what side my family fights on?
You know my family name. You have me at a disadvantage.
That boy lost his foot on your orders.
They killed my father.
That boy did?
The family he fights for.
Do you think he's friends with King Joffrey? He's a fisherman's son that grew up near Lannisport. He probably never held a spear before they shoved one in his hands a few months ago.
I have no hatred for the lad.
That should help his foot grow back.
So how do we stop him?
We've worked through the night, my lord. Perhaps we'd profit from some sleep.
As I think you would, Reginald. And because you're my cousin, I might even let you wake from that sleep. Go. I'm sure your wife must miss you.
My wife's in Lannisport.
Well, then you better start riding. Go before I change my mind and send her ahead. If your name wasn't Lannister, you'd be scrubbing out pots in the cook's tent. Go!
You'd have us surrender. End all this bloodshed, I understand. But the country would be at peace, and life would be just under the righteous hand of good King Joffrey.
You're going to kill Joffrey?
The gods give me strength.
And then what?
I don't know. We'll go back to Winterfell. I have no desire to sit in the Iron Throne.
So who will?
I don't know.
You're fighting to overthrow a king, and yet you have no plan for what comes after.
First, we have to win the war. never told me where you're from.
Valantis.
Volantis, you're far from home. The boy was lucky you were here.
He was unlucky that you were.
Starks have overextended their lines. Now that summer's over, they'll have a hard time keeping their men and horses fed.
Starks understand winter better than we ever will. The cold won't beat them.
Our spies report growing discontent among the northern lords. They want to return home and gather the harvest before the crops turn.
And I'm sure if those same spies snuck into our own encampments, they would report growing discontent amongst the southern lords. This is war. No one's content.
Lady Talisa.
Your Grace. I'm not sure I'm a lady. Westerosi customs are still a bit foreign to me.
It's hard to keep all the rules straight, but if I remember my lessons, a woman of noble birth is always called a lady, unless she's a queen or a princess. I could find someone who knows.
Why are you so sure I'm of noble birth?
Because it's obvious.
What if I told you my father sold lace on the Long Bridge, and my mother, my brother, and I lived with him above our shop?
I'd call you a liar.
Not very noble to accuse a lady of dishonesty. I always thought I was a brilliant liar.
Girl. My lord. Low-born girls say my lord, not my lord. If you're going to pose as a commoner, you should do it properly.
I don't want to be a cripple, please.
Surely one of our men needs your attention more than this cub.
Your men are not my men, my lord.
Put this in your mouth and lie down. You don't want to...
My mother served Lady Dustin for many years, my lord. She taught me how to speak properly.
You're too smart for your own good. Has anyone told you that?
Yes.
Go on.
Quite a pretty spot.
Will we be here long?
I couldn't really discuss troop movements with you.
I'm not a spy.
Of course, a spy would deny being a spy.
You're right. You found me out. I'm writing a letter to the Lannisters. The young wolf is on the move.
Who taught you to read?
My father, my lord.
Taught my son Jaime to read. Maester came to me one day, told me he wasn't learning. Couldn't make sense of the letters. He reversed them in his head. Maester said he'd heard tell of this affliction, and that we simply must accept it. Huh. After that, I sat Jaime down for 4 hours every day until he learned. He hated me for it, for a time. For a long time. But he learned.
Bring it back here! Yes, my lord! Yes. Come on! Come on! On your face! Get up!
Unbesmirched. Not defiled. Fancy word for a fancy man. I hated to read as a child, but my father forced me to study the books every morning before I could practice with sword or horse. 4 hours every day, holed up in the maester's chambers. I learned a lot of fancy words. I bet you did.
Where is your father? Is he alive? Who was he?
A stonemason.
Stonemason who could read.
He taught himself.
Quite a man. What killed him?
Loyalty.
You're a sharp little thing, aren't you?
Forgive me, my lord. I shouldn't ask questions.
No. But you've already begun.
Did you know your father, my lord?
I did. I grew up with him. I watched him grow old. He loved us. He was a good man. But a weak man. A weak man who nearly destroyed our house and name.
Perhaps you'd join me. If you've got time, of course, for, well...
Robb?
Mother. Mother, this is Lady Talisa. She's been helping with the wounded. She's been very helpful.
Lady Talisa.
Lady Stark.
Lady Talisa
Maegyr.
Maegyr. Forgive me. I do not know this name.
An uncommon name here. An old name in Volantis. Excuse me, my lady. Your grace.
I've missed you.
Yes. You look positively forlorn.
You surprised me, that's all. Didn't think I'd see you today.
I wish that you were free to follow your heart.
I know.
You have inherited your father's responsibilities. I'm afraid they come at a cost. You are promised to another. A debt that must be paid.
I haven't forgotten.
Your Grace, my lady. News from Winterfell.
My ladies, all men should keep their word. Kings most of all. I was pledged to marry one of you, and I broke that vow. The fault is not with you. Any man would be lucky to have any one of you. I did what I did not to slight you, but because I loved another. I know these words cannot set right the wrong I have done to you and your house. I beg your forgiveness, and pledge to do all I can to make amends, so the Freys of the Crossing and the Starks of Winterfell may once again be friends.
Girl, where are you from?
Maidenpool, my lord.
And who are the lords of Maidenpool? Remind me.
House Mutton, my lord.
And what is their sigil? A red salmon. I think a Maidenpool girl would remember that. You're a northerner, aren't you? Good. And one more time, where are you from?
Barrowton, my lord. House Dustin. 2 crossed long axes beneath a black crown.
And what do they say of Robb Stark in the north?
We're at war. This march is a distraction.
My grandfather's funeral is not a distraction.
You ride into battle at River Run?
No.
Then it's a distraction.
My uncle Edmure has his forces garrisoned there. We need his men.
Unless he's been breeding them. You don't have enough to make a difference.
Have you lost faith in our cause?
If it's revenge, I still got faith in it.
If you no longer believe...
I can believe till it snows and dawn. Don't change the fact. We've got half the men.
You don't think we can win?
May I speak my mind, Your Grace?
Have you not been speaking your mind, Lord Karstark?
I think you lost this war. The day you married her.
And what do they say of Robb Stark in the north?
They call him the Young Wolf.
And?
They say he rides into battle on the back of a giant dire wolf. They say he can turn into a wolf himself when he wants. They say he can't be killed.
Do you believe them?
No, my lord. Anyone can be killed.
Robb. Robb. Robb! You've ruined your sword.
I'll kill them all. Every one of them. I'm gonna kill them all.
My boy. They have your sisters. We have to get the girls back. And then we will kill them all. Love didn't just happen to us. We built it slowly over the years, stone by stone. For you, for your brothers and sisters, for all of us. It's not as exciting as secret passion in the woods, but it is stronger. It lasts longer.
And that is what would be in store for me with one of Walder Frey's daughters. What you and Father had.
Why not? Because she's not beautiful. Because she's not exotic and exciting.
No, you're arguing just to argue. Because you arranged it.
And you agreed to it. You gave him your word. Treat your oaths recklessly, and your people will do the same. If your father lived his life for one thing...
My father is dead. And the only parent I have left has no right to call anyone reckless.
And Catelyn Stark took Tyrion prisoner. What did I do in response?
You started a war.
Well, if I would start a war for that lecherous little stump, what do you think I'm doing for my eldest son and heir?
Whatever you can.
Whatever I can.
Mother.
The Lannisters send their regards.
What's wrong? Don't like being called boy? Insulted.
Will you insult yourself, Kingslayer? You've been defeated by a boy. You're held captive by a boy. Perhaps you'll be killed by a boy. My father learned the truth. That's why you had him executed.
I was your prisoner when Ned Stark lost his head.
And your son killed him so the world would learn who fathered him. And you pushed my brother from a window because he saw you with the Queen.
You have proof. You want to trade gossip like a couple of fishwives.
I'm sending one of your cousins down to King's Landing with my peace terms.
You think my father's going to negotiate with you? You don't know him very well.
No. But he's starting to know me.
3 victories don't make you a conqueror.
It's better than 3 defeats.
Tell Robb Stark I'm sorry I couldn't make his uncle's wedding. The Lannisters send their regards.